The first war that ended in peace. For most of human history, war ended in one way, with bodies on the ground and one side erased from history. But in 1258 BCE, something completely unprecedented happened. Two of the most powerful empires on Earth, after years of bloodshed, pride and destruction, chose peace, not surrender, not conquest. A written agreement, promising never to fight again. This is the story of the first peace treaty in human history, and why it still matters today. For early civilizations, war wasn't a failure of diplomacy, it was diplomacy. Empires rose by the sword, and collapsed by it just as easily. In the ancient world, power came from land, resources, and fear. If your neighbor was strong, you attacked first. If you were weak, you were conquered. By the 13th century BCE, two civilizations stood at the peak of this brutal system. Egypt, ancient, wealthy, ruled by gods in human form. And the Hittite Empire, a rising power, masters of metal and warfare. And between them lay one city that would decide everything. Kadesh, Egypt under Pharaoh Ramses II, was one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth. Massive temples, endless grain from the Nile, an army fueled by divine authority. Ramses wasn't just a king, he was the bridge between gods and men. To the north, in modern-day Turkey, stood the Hittite Empire, ruled by King Mu'tali II. The Hittites were different. They didn't rely on divine spectacle. They relied on strategy, metalwork, and intelligence networks. They controlled key trade routes. They forged superior weapons. And they wanted Kadesh. So did Egypt. And neither side was willing to let it go. In 1274 BCE, Ramses II marched toward Kadesh with nearly 20,000 soldiers, divided into 4 massive divisions. He believed the Hittite army was far away. He was wrong. Hittite spies fed Ramses false information, luring him into overconfidence. As Ramses split his forces, the Hittites struck. 40,000 Hittite troops surged from behind Kadesh's fortifications, slamming into the exposed Egyptian divisions. Chariots crashed. Infantry collapsed. The Nile's favoured son was nearly defeated. Egyptian records claim Ramses fought heroically and saved the day. Hittite records tell a different story. Modern historians agree on one thing: neither side won. After Kadesh, something strange happened. The war didn't end, but it didn't escalate either. For years, Egypt and the Hittites skirmished, threatened, and postured. But both empires were exhausted. Enemies pressed from other borders. Resources drained. Internal stability weakened. Total victory was no longer worth the cost. For the first time in recorded history, two superpowers faced a radical idea. What if domination wasn't the answer? What if survival required cooperation? In 1258 BCE, Pharaoh Ramses II and King Hattusili III of the Hittite Empire made history. They signed a treaty, etched into stone and clay, promising peace between their nations. It declared no future invasions, mutual defense against enemies, extradition of fugitives, recognition of sovereignty. It wasn't just a ceasefire, it was a commitment to coexist. For the first time, peace became a written policy, not a pause between wars. The results were immediate. The Hittites shared their mastery of iron and metallurgy. Egypt shared its agricultural expertise and grain surplus. Trade replaced warfare. Diplomacy replaced bloodshed. Two civilizations prospered. Not because one ruled the other, but because both chose stability over pride. The treaty lasted decades, until the Hittite Empire eventually collapsed from outside invasions. But the idea survived. Today, a copy of that treaty hangs in the United Nations headquarters. A reminder that peace is not weakness, it's a choice. Thousands of years ago, humanity learned something profound. War can build empires, but peace is what allows them to last. And that lesson, we're still trying to learn. This documentary explores the Battle of Kadesh, the rivalry between Ramses II and the Hittite kings, how war reshaped the ancient world, why peace became a revolutionary idea. Thousands of years later, this ancient agreement still hangs in the United Nations as a reminder that peace is not weakness. It is a choice. History doesn't just explain the past, it warns the future. Subscribe for cinematic history documentaries like If You Believe Peace is Power. Comment, could modern nations make the same choice?